Most people go through life settling. They settle for what's handed to them, for what's easy, for what's safe. They say this is good enough, but let me tell you something, good enough is the enemy of great. The 96%, they stay in their comfort zones because it's familiar. They're okay with average. And that's exactly why they fail. They don't push themselves, they don't challenge themselves, and they don't expect more from life. But guess what? Comfort zones are dangerous. It's where dreams go to die. You're either growing or you're dying, there's no in between. Now look at the 4%. These are the people who refuse to settle. They don't accept mediocrity, not from the world and not from themselves. Every single day they demand excellence. They're not satisfied with just okay, they push for more, for better. When others are coasting, they're driving toward their goals relentlessly. They don't wait for opportunities, they create them. They wake up with a purpose, with a fire, and they demand that life give them more. The truth is, you can't succeed if you're comfortable with being average. Success doesn't come to those who are okay with the status quo, it comes to those who crave something greater. The people in the 4% have made a decision they will not live an ordinary life. They've committed to raising their standards in every area of their lives, whether it's their career, their relationships, or their health. And it's that commitment, that refusal to settle, that separates them from everyone else. So ask yourself right now, are you willing to settle for what you have, or are you ready to step up and demand more from yourself? Because if you want to join the 4%, you need to stop accepting average and start demanding greatness. Most people don't even realize they're settling. They go through life following the same routine, doing what they're told, accepting whatever comes their way. It's like they're on autopilot. You know what they say? It's fine, it's good enough, at least it's not terrible, but let me tell you something, fine is not a life worth living. Fine is a trap. Fine is a trap. Fine is these people use to justify their fear of pushing themselves. They stay in jobs they hate, in relationships that don't fulfill them, living lives that feel like they're on repeat, day after day, month after month, year after year. That's a why. Because it's comfortable. It's predictable. But here's the truth, nothing grows in the comfort zone. In fact, that comfort is slowly killing their dreams. You see, the comfort zone may feel safe, but it's a prison. The walls are invisible, but they're there, keeping people trapped in mediocrity, trapped in a life of good enough. Now look at the people who are part of that top 4%. They're not playing it safe. They're not staying inside those walls. They're constantly breaking through, pushing their limits and reaching for more. These are the people who demand excellence in everything they do. They're the ones who set a higher standard for themselves and refuse to lower it no matter what. While 96% of people wake up and go through the motions, the 4% wake up with intention. They're driven by something bigger than themselves, a purpose, a mission. They don't settle for anything less than extraordinary. And they never accept just enough. Because to them, just enough is a waste of their potential. These people, the 4%, they live with a sense of urgency. They understand that every day is a gift, an opportunity to get better, to grow, to become more. Here's the thing, the 96% spend their lives making excuses. I don't have time, I don't have the resources, it's not the right moment, but the 4%, they don't make excuses. They make decisions. They make a choice every day to show up and give everything they've got. While others are worried about failing, they're focused on what they'll miss out on if they don't take action. And that's what separates the successful from the average. The 4% have a mindset that says, if I'm not growing, I'm dying. They know that success doesn't happen by accident, it happens by choice. They're not sitting around waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect moment. Or they're creating those opportunities. They know that greatness isn't handed to you. You have to go out and take it. You see, success isn't about luck. It's not about talent. It's about the relentless pursuit of excellence. It's about constantly pushing yourself to be better, to do more, to achieve more. And that's uncomfortable. It's hard. But it's also what makes life exciting. The 4% embrace the discomfort because they know that's where the growth happens. While the 96% are looking for comfort and security, the 4% are out there chasing challenge because they know that's where transformation lives. So if you want to be part of that 4%, If you want to live an extraordinary life, it starts with a decision. A decision to never settle for average, to never accept mediocrity. It's a decision to raise your standards, to demand more from yourself every single day. Because if you're not pushing for excellence, if you're not striving to be the absolute best version of yourself, then you're settling. And the 4%, they don't settle. They never settle. It's time to break free from the comfort zone. It's time to raise the bar. Because if you want success, if you want greatness, it's not going to come to you. You have to go out and get it. And that starts by deciding right now that you will no longer accept anything less than extraordinary from yourself. Success is out there waiting for you, but you have to be willing to go after it with everything you've got. You have to be willing to demand it from yourself every single day. Most people think they want success. They say they want it, but deep down it's just a wish, a hope. There's no burning desire behind it. And that's the problem. Wishing for success isn't enough. You've got to want it so badly that it consumes you. You need to be hungry. You have to crave it with every fiber of your being, because without that hunger, without that fire burning inside you, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going through the motions. And you know what? That's exactly why 96% of people fail. They simply don't have that burning desire that pushes them to keep going, no matter what. Let me tell you something, success doesn't just show up because you want it. Wanting it isn't enough. Wanting it isn't enough. Wanting is passive, but being hungry, that's active, that's powerful. Hunger drives you when you're tired. It keeps you going when everyone else is quitting. It's that deep, relentless desire that makes you get up early, stay up late, do the things others aren't willing to do. It's not just a nice to have, it's a must. You think about the most successful people you know. Are they just casually going after their goals? No, they have a fire inside them that never goes out. They don't wait for motivation to strike, they create it. They're so obsessed with their vision that nothing can distract them. That's the kind of hunger you need to be in the top 4%. It's not about hoping something will work out, it's about knowing that you'll do whatever it takes to make it happen. And here's the reality, the 96% don't have that fire. They think they do, but when things get tough, that desire fades away. They give up when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable, when it's hard. Why? Because their desire wasn't strong enough to fuel them through the tough times. If you're not passionate, if you don't have that deep burning hunger, you're going to quit. You're going to fold the first time you hit resistance. And guess what? Life will throw resistance at you. That's guaranteed. It's the people with that burning desire who push through and rise above it. You see, the 4% live with a sense of urgency. They wake up every single day with a purpose, with a hunger to achieve something bigger than themselves. That desire is so intense that it pulls them forward, no matter what challenges they face. They don't need external motivation because their drive comes from within. It's in their core. It's who they are. They are relentless. They're unstoppable. And that's because they aren't just chasing success. They're obsessed with it. Look, if you don't have that hunger, you're not even in the game. You're on the sidelines watching other people go after their dreams. And the saddest part is, you'll never even know what you're truly capable of. You'll live your life stuck in the middle, wondering why things never worked out the way you wanted. But it's not because you didn't have the talent or the resources or the opportunities. It's because you didn't have the fire inside of you. So if you want to join the 4%, if you want to rise above mediocrity, it starts with finding that hunger. You have to be willing to dig deep to discover what it is that you're so passionate about that nothing else matters. And once you find that, once you tap into that desire, you have to nurture it. You have to let that fire fuel you every single day through the highs and the lows. Because that's the difference between the 4% and the 96%. The 4% live with an insatiable hunger. And they don't stop until they've turned their dreams into reality. You've got to ask yourself, how hungry am I? Is your desire strong enough to pull you through the pain, the frustration, the setbacks? Because if it's not, you're just going to be another person who dreams about success but never achieves it. Yes, but if you can find that hunger, If you can ignite that fire inside of you, nothing will stop you. That's the mindset you need to succeed at the highest level. Hunger is the fuel for greatness. Fear, let's talk about it. Fear is the single biggest thing that holds people back. It's like a mental prison that keeps you locked up, afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Most people are absolutely terrified of failure. They don't take risks because they're scared of falling flat on their faces, of looking foolish, of hearing people say, I told you so-and-so. What do? They play it safe. They avoid taking any meaningful action. But guess what? That's exactly why 96% of people never achieve the success they dream of. Fear paralyzes them. It keeps them stuck in the same place year after year while they watch others move forward. The thought of failure makes them freeze. They're so worried about things going wrong that they never give themselves the chance to see what could go right. They think, what if I try and fail? But let me ask you this, what if you don't try? What if you let fear control your entire life? That's the real failure. Now, here's the key difference between the 96% and the 4%. The 4%. They look at failure differently. They don't fear it, they embrace it. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. It's not something to avoid, it's something to learn from. When they fail, they don't get discouraged, they get curious. They ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? And then they get right back up and keep going. Because here's the truth, if you're not failing, you're not growing. If you're not taking risks, you're not going to move forward. The 4% know this. They know that failure is just feedback. It's telling them what's working and what's not so they can adjust their course and keep moving toward their goals. They fail fast and they fail often, but every time they fall, they learn something new and they get stronger. And that's why they succeed, because they're not afraid to take risks. They know that every time they step out of their comfort zone, they're one step closer to their breakthrough. They understand that no risk means no reward. You can't tiptoe your way to success. You've got to be willing to jump in knowing you might fall, but also knowing that you'll get back up every single time. The 96%, they spend their lives avoiding risks. They stay on the sidelines, watching life pass them by because they're too scared to get in the game. They let fear dictate their decisions, and because of that, they never grow, they never stretch themselves. And they never realize their true potential. They say things like, what if it doesn't work? But the 4%, they say, what if it does? They take the leap, even when they don't know exactly how things will turn out, because they trust themselves to figure it out along the way. Listen, failure is inevitable. You're going to stumble, you're going to make mistakes, and things aren't always going to go the way you planned. But that's part of the journey. The only real failure is not trying in the first place. The 4% know that success is built on a mountain of failures. It's those small failures that lead to the big wins. They don't fear failure, they use it. So ask yourself, are you letting fear run your life? Are you holding back, playing small because you're afraid of what might happen if you take that risk? If you are, then you're choosing to stay stuck. But if you want to join the 4%, if you want to live an extraordinary life, you have to change the way you look at failure. You have to see it as a stepping stone, not a roadblock. You've got to be willing to fall down, get up, and try again, over and over, until you get it right. Success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about embracing it. It's about being willing to take risks, knowing that even if you fall, you'll get back up stronger than before. That's the mindset of the 4%. They don't let fear stop them. They move forward in spite of it. Because they know that on the other side of that fear is the life they've been dreaming of. It's time to stop letting fear hold you back and start letting it fuel you to push beyond your limits. Because most people wander through life without any real sense of direction. They wake up, go through the motions, and live day by day reacting to whatever comes their way. But let me tell you, without a clear vision, you're not going anywhere. It's like trying to drive across the country with no map and no destination in mind. You'll waste time, energy, and end up nowhere close to where you want to be. That's the reality for the 96% of people who don't have a vision. They drift, they get caught up in distractions, pulled in a million directions, and wonder why they never achieve what they want. You need a vision, a crystal clear picture of what success looks like to you. Because without that, how are you supposed to know where you're going? How are you supposed to take the right actions if you don't even know what the target is? The 96% live reactively, they let life happen to them. They're not in control. They don't have a purpose driving them. They're stuck in survival mode, doing just enough to get by. And that's why they fail. But the 4%, they have something that most people don't. They have a purpose, they know exactly what they want, and they have a vision so clear that it pulls them forward every single day. It's not just a vague idea. It's not, I want to be successful or I want to be happy. No. Their vision is specific, detailed, and it excites them. It's something that gives them energy and focus. It's so powerful that nothing, no obstacle, no setback can stop them from moving toward it. When you have a vision, you're no longer living life by accident. You're living intentionally. Every decision you make, every action you take is aligned with that vision. You know where you're going, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get there. The 4% aren't just dreaming, they're planning, they're executing, they're making that vision a reality. Look, if you don't have a clear vision, you're going to fall into the trap of settling for what life throws your way. You'll end up following other people's agendas, living someone else's dreams. But when you've got a vision that excites you, it becomes your compass. It's the thing that guides your decisions, your energy, your time. It keeps you focused, it keeps you motivated, and it gives you something to work toward, even when times get tough. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by accident. They had a vision, and they had a vision, and they pursued it with relentless passion. They didn't let fear, doubt, or distractions knock them off course because their vision was bigger than their obstacles. That's what separates the 4% from the rest. Vision isn't just about setting goals, it's about having a sense of purpose that drives everything you do. It's about knowing why you're doing what you're doing, what you're doing. It's not enough to say you want success. But you need to define what success means to you. You need to have a vision so compelling that it gets you out of bed every morning ready to attack the day, even when you don't feel like it. So ask yourself, what's your vision? What do you really want out of life? What's going to drive you to push past the fear, the doubt, the obstacles? If you can't answer that, you're going to stay stuck. But if you can create a vision that excites you, that lights you up inside, you'll have a direction, a path to follow. And nothing will stop you. The 4% don't live reactively, they live with purpose. They've got a vision that's bigger than their excuses. And because of that, they're unstoppable. If you want to join them, it's time to create a vision that pulls you forward. That gives your life meaning, that makes every day count. Because when you have that, you don't just live, you thrive. Let's be real, talk is cheap. You hear people all the time talking about what they're going to do, how they're going to change their lives, how they're going to achieve success. But what happens? Nothing. They talk and talk and talk, but they never follow through. Why? Because they lack the one thing that separates the dreamers from the achievers: consistent action. It's easy to get fired up in the moment to say, I'm going to do this, but motivation fades. That initial burst of excitement disappears, and then what? Most people stop. They quit. They go right back to their old habits, to their comfort zone. And that's exactly why the 96% fail. They aren't willing to take action every single day. They might take a few steps, but as soon as it gets hard, as soon as they don't see instant results, they give up. They're chasing quick wins, easy success. But that's not how it works. 4%, they get it. They understand that success isn't about doing something once and expecting a miracle. It's about showing up every day, no matter how you feel, no matter what's going on in your life. They take massive action, not just once, not just when they feel motivated, but consistently. Day in and day out, they are moving closer to their goals. Even when it's tough, even when it's uncomfortable, even when the results aren't immediate, they're in it for the long haul. Consistency is the key. It's the compound effect. Small actions repeated over time lead to massive results. But the majority of people don't put in the work every day to see those results. They want it now. As they want the success without the grind. They want the rewards without the sacrifice. But let me tell you, that's not how success works. You have to put in the work consistently. You have to be relentless. Yeah. You have to take action even when you don't feel like it, even when it seems like nothing is happening. The 4% know this. They don't rely on motivation because motivation is temporary. They rely on discipline. They've built habits that keep them on track, that keep them moving forward, even on the days when they'd rather hit snooze, when they'd rather relax, when they'd rather do anything but the hard work it takes to succeed. But guess what? That's where the magic happens. When you're willing to do what others won't, that's when you start to see the results. Most people think success is a one-time event. They think it's about hitting the jackpot or getting lucky. But success is built through consistent action, through showing up again and again and doing the work. It's about persistence. It's about grinding it out when nobody's watching, when nobody's giving you credit, when it seems like nothing is happening. Because it's in those moments that the seeds are being planted. 4% understand that success is a process. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And they're willing to run that marathon one step at a time, one day at a time. You see, most people want success, but they aren't willing to pay the price. They get discouraged when things don't happen as quickly as they'd like, and they quit. But the 4%, they're playing a different game. They know that if they stay consistent, if they keep taking action, the results will come. They're not chasing quick fixes, they're building something that lasts. And that takes time. That takes effort. And most importantly, that takes consistency. If you want to succeed, you have to commit to taking action every single day. Not just when it's convenient, not just when it's easy, but every day. You have to be willing to do the hard work, to keep going when the excitement wears off, to keep pushing when it feels like nothing's happening. Because it's in those moments of consistent action that success is born. So are you going to be someone who talks about what they want, or are you going to be someone who does what it takes to get it? The 4% don't just talk, they act. And they act consistently. That's the secret. That's the difference. If you want to join them, it's time to stop talking about success and start living it through massive, relentless, consistent action. Let's talk about accountability because it's one of the biggest differences between the 96% and the 4%. You see, most people love to play the blame game. They're constantly pointing fingers, looking for someone or something to blame for their something, to blame for their circumstances. It's the economy, they say. It's my boss's fault the government is holding me back. They wallow in excuses. And you know what that does? It keeps them stuck. They're trapped in a victim mentality, waiting for someone else to change their situation. But that's exactly why 96% of people never achieve what they want in life. 4%. They operate on a completely different level. They take 100% responsibility for their lives. They know that the moment they start blaming others is the moment they give away their power. They refuse to be victims of circumstance. If something isn't working, they own it. They don't make excuses, they take action. They ask themselves, what can I do to change this? How can I fix it? They're focused on solutions, not on problems. And that's why they succeed. And listen closely, no one is coming to save you. Life isn't going to magically change because you complain about it. The world doesn't owe you anything. If you want to create the life you desire, you've got to take charge. You have to look in the mirror and accept that you are the one responsible for your outcomes. It's not your boss, it's not your boss, it's not the economy, and it's definitely not the government. It's you. 4% understand that accountability is the foundation of success. They take ownership of their choices, their actions, and their results. If they fail, they don't blame the circumstances, they analyze what went wrong and adjust their strategy. They know that every failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. And they welcome it. They see challenges as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. You see, excuses are a crutch for the weak. They're a way to avoid responsibility and shield yourself from the hard work it takes to create change. When you make excuses, you're basically saying, I'm powerless. But the 4%, they know they are powerful creators of their own destinies. They don't wait for permission or validation. They go out and make things happen. The truth is, as long as you're blaming others, you're relinquishing control over your life. You're handing your power to someone else. But when you take responsibility, you reclaim that power. You become the author of your own story. You get to decide how you respond to setbacks, how you react to challenges, and how you shape your future. So I challenge you to ask yourself, are you living in a victim mentality? Are you spending your energy blaming others for your lack of progress? If so, it's time to wake up. The moment you decide to take full responsibility for your life is the moment you take the first step toward real change. Yeah, it's empowering, it's freeing. Stop making excuses. Stop pointing fingers. If you want results, you have to own every aspect of your life. Embrace that responsibility. Turn every obstacle into an opportunity. The 4% are not afraid to roll up their sleeves and get to work. They understand that results don't come from blame, they come from action. They know that success is built on a foundation of accountability. If you want to join the ranks of the 4%, you need to stop playing the blame game and start owning your journey. Be proactive, not reactive. Embrace responsibility and watch how your life transforms. Because when you take charge, when you take action, when you own your circumstances, you'll create results that will blow your mind. Let's dive deeper into this idea of accountability because it's absolutely essential for creating the life you want. You see, when you blame others, you're not just giving away your power, you're also limiting your potential. You're putting your future in someone else's hands. You're saying that your success depends on factors outside your control, which is a dangerous place to be. Think about it, when you blame the economy, you're telling yourself that your financial future is dictated by external forces. When you blame your boss, you're saying your career advancement relies on someone else's decisions. When you blame the government, you're essentially giving up on your ability to affect change in your own life. But the moment you recognize that you are the architect of your reality, everything shifts. You take the reins, you become the driver of your own success. The 4% are laser focused on the idea that no one can create the life they want but themselves. They understand that life is filled with challenges, and rather than crumbling under pressure, they rise to the occasion. So when things don't go as planned, they don't throw their hands up in defeat. No, they analyze the situation, reflect on what they can learn, and take immediate action to pivot and adjust their strategies. They ask the hard questions: what could I have done differently? What steps can I take now to move forward? Let's also talk about the emotional side of this. When you blame others, you're actually giving away your emotional power too. You're making yourself a prisoner of your circumstances. You're allowing frustration, anger, and resentment to fester within you. But the 4%, they don't waste their energy on negative emotions. They channel that energy into productive action. They refuse to let bitterness or anger dictate their feelings or responses. Instead, they find solutions, adapt, and push through. And here's the kicker: when you own your life and your choices, you also open yourself up to a world of opportunities. You become more resilient, more resourceful, and more creative in problem solving. You start to see obstacles as challenges to be conquered rather than walls that block your path. You develop a mindset of growth and possibility because you know you're in control. You are capable of turning any setback into a comeback. That's where true empowerment comes from. Moreover, accountability breeds confidence. When you take responsibility for your actions, you start to build trust in yourself. You start to believe that you can handle whatever life throws at you. You become your own biggest advocate, your own cheerleader. And that confidence fuels your actions, creating a positive feedback loop. The more you take responsibility, the more you see results. And the more results you see, the more motivated you become to keep pushing forward. On the other hand, the 96% live in a cycle of blame and excuse. They often don't even realize they're doing it. They've been conditioned to point fingers instead of looking in the mirror. They might even convince themselves that they're justified in their complaints. But deep down, they know it's a trap. It keeps them stuck in a never-ending cycle of frustration and disappointment. They're constantly waiting for something to change instead of taking action to change it themselves. If 4% break free from that cycle, they cultivate a mindset of empowerment and responsibility. They are committed to their vision and purpose, and nothing, not the economy, not their boss, not any external factor can derail them from their path. They are relentless in their pursuit of results. So I urge you to reflect on your own life. Are you playing the blame game? Are you stuck in a loop of excuses? If you are, it's time to break free. It's time to take their power. Own your choices, own your outcomes, and commit to making things happen for yourself. Just remember, the world will throw challenges your way. Life will test you. But how you respond defines your success. Take 100% responsibility for your life. Make it a mantra. I am responsible for my actions, my results, and my future. When you embrace this mindset, you'll find that obstacles become opportunities, failures become lessons, and every challenge is just a stepping stone on your journey to success. The 4% don't just talk about their dreams, they take bold, decisive action to make them a reality. They're not waiting for anyone else to change their circumstances, they're doing it themselves. That's the power of accountability, and that's how you become unstoppable. Let's get real about personal growth, because this is a critical component of success that too many people overlook. You see, the majority of people are just too busy living their lives. They're caught up in the day-to-day grind, and as a result, they neglect the most important investment they can make themselves. They think they can get by with what they already know, but that's a huge mistake. The truth is, if you're not actively investing in your own growth, you're falling behind. There's no neutral ground in life. You're either moving forward or you're being left behind. Now let's talk about the 4%. They're relentless learners. They understand that the world is constantly changing, and if they want to stay ahead, they need to evolve. They don't just settle for the status quo. They are voracious readers, devouring books on personal development, leadership, success strategies, and more. They know that knowledge is power, and they're hungry for it. They understand that every piece of information they consume is a tool they can use to create their future. But it doesn't stop there. The 4% attend seminars, workshops, and conferences. They invest their time and money to be in the room with the people who are where they want to be. They're networking, learning, and absorbing new ideas that can catapult them forward. They know that every event is an opportunity to gain insight, to make connections, and to elevate their game. They refuse to let complacency hold them back. Surrounding themselves with mentors is another crucial element of their growth strategy. The 4% understand that they don't have to go it alone. They seek out those who have walked the path before them and achieved the success they desire. As they ask for guidance, they learn from their experiences, and they model their behavior after the best in the business. They're not afraid to ask questions and seek feedback because they know that's how they grow. They understand that the right mentor can dramatically accelerate their journey towards success. Now let's think about the consequences of not investing in yourself. If you're too busy to learn, what happens? You stagnate, you get comfortable, you stop challenging yourself, and that's a dangerous place to be. When you stop growing, you become obsolete. The world around you continues to evolve, and before you know it, you're left in the dust wondering what went wrong. It's a recipe for mediocrity. You're missing out on opportunities, advancements, and the chance to create the life you really want. You have to remember that investing in yourself isn't just about acquiring knowledge, it's about transforming your mindset. It's about building resilience, confidence, and the skills necessary to navigate life's challenges. The more you invest in your own growth, the more you become a person of value both to yourself and to others. You develop the tools to adapt, innovate, and thrive no matter what life throws your way. Let's also talk about the mindset of a learner. The 4% have an insatiable curiosity. They approach life with the belief that there is always more to learn, always more to experience. They see every setback as a lesson, every challenge as an opportunity for growth. They understand that learning doesn't stop once you leave school, it's a lifelong journey. They embrace it wholeheartedly. Now ask yourself, what are you doing to invest in your own growth? Are you making time for learning? Are you seeking out resources, mentors, and experiences that will challenge you and help you grow? If you're not, it's time to shift your mindset. It's time to prioritize your personal development, because that's the key to unlocking your potential. So here's the bottom line if you want to join the 4%. If you want to rise above the 96%, you have to be a relentless learner. You have to invest in yourself like it's your most important asset, because it is. Your growth is the foundation of your success. Don't let busyness become your excuse. Make the commitment to learn, grow, and evolve every single day. The future belongs to those who are willing to invest in themselves, and that's where you'll find the real power to create the life you desire. Let's dive into a powerful truth about persistence, because this is a critical factor that separates the 4% from the 96%. You see, most people give up too soon. The moment they encounter resistance, they throw in the towel. They face a challenge, a setback, or a moment of doubt, and suddenly they see failure as a stop sign. They convince themselves that it's a sign to turn back, to retreat, to abandon their dreams. But let me tell you, that's a dangerous mindset. So the 96% quit when the going gets tough, and that's why they never achieve their goals. They lack the resilience to push through the discomfort. They don't understand that every great success story is riddled with obstacles, setbacks, and failures. They see resistance as a barrier instead of what it truly is, an opportunity for growth and transformation. Now let's talk about the 4%. They've developed a different relationship with challenges. They see every obstacle as a chance to strengthen their resolve, to refine their skills, and to elevate their game. It's when they hit resistance, they don't back down. No, they push through with tenacity and determination. They understand that the moment when they want to quit is often the very moment when they're closest to a breakthrough. That's where the magic happens. Imagine this: you're on the verge of achieving something incredible and you're met with a challenge that feels insurmountable. It's easy to think this is too hard. I can't do this, but the 4% are wired differently. They've learned that every setback is a setup for a comeback. They dig deep, harness their inner strength, and refuse to let temporary discomfort derail their dreams. They know that success isn't a straight line, it's a series of twists and turns. Think about it, how many times have you seen someone quit right before they were about to achieve their goal? It's heartbreaking. They put in the work, they invested the time, but when the going got tough, they lost faith. They didn't realize that every great achievement comes with moments of struggle. Those moments are what prepare you for the success that lies ahead. They're the tests that build your character and resilience. When you encounter resistance, it's a signal that you're growing. It's a sign that you're pushing beyond your comfort zone. That's where growth happens. The 4% have learned to embrace discomfort, because they know that's where the real transformation takes place. They've adopted a mindset of resilience and grit. They don't let temporary setbacks define their journey. Instead, they redefine them as stepping stones on their path to greatness. So the next time you feel like quitting, I want you to pause and ask yourself, am I on the verge of a breakthrough? Because often it's in those moments of doubt and struggle that you're actually inches away from your greatest victory. Remember, it's not the challenge that defines you, it's how you respond to that challenge that truly matters. The 4% understand that perseverance is key. They keep pushing forward, taking action even when the road gets rocky. They visualize their success, and they refuse to let anything deter them from their path. They've developed a resilience that allows them to bounce back from failure, learn from their mistakes, and keep moving forward.